don't worry. We will start with basics, and we'll try to cover each and everything so that you don't face any kind of difficulties all through this event. As you all are aware that on that we are having our events on 13 and 14. So before that, we will try to conduct 3 to 4 workshops for you all. So basically, today's workshop is all about Python and NumPy. We hope that you guys will enjoy learning Python and NumPy. And Jeet and Arna will start with basics of Python. So you
So,
guys go on.
is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. So, guys, we are Python actually means, I hope everybody of you have installed Python. We shared a PDF. If somebody has, and let me show you in a brief how to install. Just go to python.org, and for this event we'll be using Python 3.7 basically. So go here, Python 3.7, any version of Python 3. Sorry, Python 3.7.9. Go here and download of Windows x86, and when it is downloaded, just set it up, and with that you will also get the Python IDLE, Python IDLE, the integrated development learning editor. We will be using that basically for the workshop. Apart from that, there are other some IDs and code editors as well: PyCharm, Visual Studio Code, Jupyter Notebook. For our convenience, we'll be starting with IDLE. So now, the Python was actually developed very early in 1991. It was actually developed before Java, but it has achieved a boon in after in this decade, previous decade. It was because with the advent of AI and ML kind of things, programmers used to search for a language which was very easy to use with, so that they don't have to spend much time in writing codes, and Python was their option. So you will see throughout this workshop that how easy Python is compared to other languages such as C and C++. Uh, Let us begin with that. Now, you can see that Python is having a very simple, elegant syntax that in any other language we would have to define the variable before the data type of the variable. But if we see here, it is just like you define a is equal to 10, b is equal to 10, and Python automatically treats it as integer. If we define, suppose a is equal to 10.0, it will treat it as a float. So you don't need to specify the data type of the variable beforehand. Python will take care of it. Uh, that is actually given in the next slide, that you need to define the type of a variable in Python. Suppose, let me show you how to actually find the type of a variable. If we define a variable a is equal to 10, and we do type keyword is used to get the data type of the variable. Actually, type a we get, and when I execute it, we get class int. So that is very easy. So suppose if I initialize a b is equal to string and do type b, it will give me a class string. So the type is actually
Ajitesh,
used
can
to,
you increase the font?
yeah, font. I
हाँ उसमें आइडिया
actually,
थी मैं
okay, I will.
Try pressing Control plus plus
Control plus.
plus sign.
In idle, I don't think it happens.
It doesn't work. Okay. We'll continue later.
So this was all about the variables, and now variable, it is simple as any other language. It's the location in memory used to store some data value, and as I already told you, we don't need to declare a value before using it. The language takes care of it. If we go to the variable assignment, it is done with an assignment operator. That is, the variable name is written on the left hand side and its value is written on the right hand side. Any type of value can be given to it, be it a integer value, float value, or a string. We don't have character actually in Python. Other than that, any value can be given. We also have Boolean, true or false. Now let me show you something. That suppose if we want to initialize too many variables in single time, we can do it by separating comma a comma b comma c is equal to 5 comma 3.2 n. Now one interesting thing is that, for example, if there are two variables which have the same value, for example, x also has the same value 6, y also has the same value 6, but the question arises that will they be stored in the same address? Now, to determine the address of a variable in Python, we use id. If I try to show it to you, there's a variable a is equal to 5, and if I do id a, it gives me an address 140. It's a long type of address. It gives the address in which this variable a is stored. If I do it to another element, b is equal to 10 and id b, we see that these two addresses are different because they are having the different value. But suppose if I initialize c is equal to 5 and I do id c, we see that the address of a and address of b are actually equal. So from this we can get to the conclusion that in Python the variables with same value are stored in the same memory location. It is different from C++ in that aspect. Now we come to the data types. What are the basic data types used in Python? First of all, them are the numeric types. Int used for storing integers, long is used for storing long integers, float, decimal point numbers, and complex numbers can also be used in Python. These all data types are actually interconvertible. For example, we can convert int into float, long into float. Let me show you. For example, we have a is equal to 10 and we do b is equal to a, and if we print b now, we see that it is printing 10. But suppose if we want to store b as a float value, we can do it simply by b is equal to float of a. Now when we do this, then this a will be converted into float, so that in b actually 10.0 will be stored. So if I print b, you see that it is 10.0. Similarly, it can be done in a vice versa. For example, a float value can be converted into an int value by using int functions. If we want to have a complex value, let us define c is equal to complex a comma 5. So it will basically give us, and if I print c now, it will give us 10 plus 5j. So it is basically converting a and 5 into a complex value, that is 10 plus 5j. So that is how we can interchange the variable data types in Python. That is written. Now the basic operators in Python, I hope you all understand. Addition, it will add two numbers. Subtraction, subtract numbers. Multiplication, divide two numbers. Now we see that there are two types of division here. First is the normal division and second is the float division. So what is the difference between this? Let me explain with an example. For example, we have two numbers, a is equal to 10, is equal to 7. If we store it in C, a divided by 10. So in C, we see when we are using division, then we are getting, sorry, I actually did a divided by 10, that is 10 divided by 10, we are getting it as 1.0. If I do C is equal to a divided by b, we are getting 1.4, 1. So we see that when we are using division, the result is stored as an decimal number. But what if we just want the integer result of it? For example, 10 divided by 7, we just want 1. For that, we actually use float division, that is two division signs. C is equal to a divided by b. Now if we do C, we see that we are just getting 1. So that is the basic use of float division to get the result in integer. We can also convert this into integer, but this is an easier way.
Ajitesh, can you print ideally again?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, go to options,
Yes,
config
configure.
ideally, go to fonts and नीचे size बढ़ा दो उसका. 16 would work. 20 बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. हाँ ठीक है. ठीक है ठीक है.
ठीक है. ओके. Okay, now we actually discussed addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, floor division. Now if we discuss about modulus, modulus is kind of, it gives the remainder when a particular number is divided. For example, 5 modulus 3 will give remainder 2. So that is basically modulus used for. And now if I come to exponent, now if we if we need to find some power of a particular number, for example 2 to the power 4, we can do it using two methods. Let me show you. First we do 2 star 4. Huh. 2 star 4, it will result 16. So this is the easy way using two exponent sign, actually two multiplication sign actually give us the power to a number raised to a certain power. But if we don't want to use it and want to use math functions, for that we would have to import the math library. Import math. So this is the way to import the math library. It is imported in this way. And then now we have certain functions in math library. For example, powers, sqrt, seal, floor. I will show you one by one. For example, if I store c is equal to math.power, and if I print c, you see that it is giving us 16.0. Apart from this, there are other functions in math library as well. For example, math.sqrt, it will give us 11. There are two other functions, mat.floor and mat.seal. For example, if I have c is equal to 15.888. Now, if I want to round off this float number to an integer number to 15 or 16, so basically for that we use mat.floor and mat.seal. Let me do d is equal to mat.floor c. D, you see that it is rounding off to one less, that is using floor 15.8888 is rounded off to 15, and if we use seal here, it will be rounded off to +1, that is to the greatest integer. C is equal to 16. So that is used for floor and seal. And apart from these, there are other functions in mat.py and that you can all see. Now, if we come to the Python comparison operators, first is equal to, not, these are pretty obvious. The equal to is used to check whether the value on LHS is equal to the value on LHS, and not equal to in a similar way, greater than, less than. It's as same as in any other programming language, C or C++. The difference comes actually in logical operators here, and or not. Here we don't need to use any particular symbol. मतलब हमें वो जो and का symbol होता था वो नहीं use करना पड़ता है. यहाँ पे हम normally and or not लिख सकते हैं. अगर इसका एक example दिखाएं. For example, a is equal to 10, b is equal to 5, c is equal to 7. So अगर हम एक वेरिएबल लेते हैं t is equal to, उसमें करते हैं b less than a and c less than a. So and basically ये चेक करता है कि ये दोनों ही कंडीशन अगर ट्रू है. फॉर एग्जांपल b less than a तो 5 less than 10 ये ट्रू है, एंड c less than a तो 7 less than 10 ये भी ट्रू है. तो if both the conditions are true in and, it will return true. and if any of the conditions is false, then AND will return false. So if I print T, it is returning true, and if it would have been OR, then OR actually checks that even if any of one of the condition would have been true, it would have resulted true, and not actually reverses it. For example, if I use not T, so T is actually having now value 2, but if I do not T, it will return false. That is, it has complemented the value of T true to false. So these are the three logical operators which are used in Python. If we go to the other operators, then there are the bitwise operators. So bitwise operators, let's begin with bitwise AND. So as the name suggests, bitwise operators में जो भी नंबर्स हैं उनका हमें एक्चुअली बाइनरी फॉर्म में उनको कन्वर्ट करना पड़ता है. फॉर एग्जांपल 13 को अगर बाइनरी फॉर्म में जब कन्वर्ट करेंगे तो आएगा 1101, और 15 को जब करेंगे तो 1111. तो बिटवाइज एंड में ये होगा कि दोनों एट साइमल्टेनियसली जो साइमल्टेनियस पोजीशन पे दोनों डिजिट्स चेक होगी. अगर दोनों 1 है, जैसे 1 and 1 है, तो 1 रिटर्न होता है. अगर एक भी 0 हो गया तो 0 रिटर्न हो जाएगा. सो 13 की बाइनरी ये 15, और आउटपुट आएगा 1 और 1 से 1, 0 और 1 से 0, और ये दोनों 1. सो आउटपुट इसका बाइनरी होगा 1 + 4 + 8, तो 13 रिजल्ट होगा. ऐसे ही एंड बिटवाइज एंड ये यूज करता है. बिटवाइज और में ये सिंपल होता है कि अगर एक भी 1 है तो 1 रिटर्न हो जाता है. एंड देन देयर इज बिटवाइज जोर. सो बिटवाइज जोर में ये होता है कि व्हेन देयर आर ऑड नंबर्स ऑफ 1, it will return 1, and when there are even numbers of 1, it will return 0. For example 13 की ये बाइनरी है, 15 की ये बाइनरी है, तो 13 और 15 करेगी तो 1 और 1 इवन नंबर ऑफ 1 आ रहे हैं तो 0 रिटर्न हुआ. यहाँ पे ऑड नंबर ऑफ 1 आ रहे हैं तो ऑड रिटर्न 1 रिटर्न हुआ. बाकी इन दोनों में 0. इफ आई शो यू एन एग्जांपल, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई डू 13 और 15, so you see it is returning 2. यहाँ पे भी हम देख सकते हैं कि ये जो था ये 2 की बाइनरी रिटर्न हो रही थी. सो दिस इज बेसिकली हाउ यू वर्क विद बिटवाइज ऑपरेटर्स. इसके अपार्ट बिटवाइज लेफ्ट शिफ्ट एंड बिटवाइज राइट शिफ्ट ऑपरेटर्स होते हैं. बिटवाइज लेफ्ट शिफ्ट में किसी भी, जैसे 13 हम लोगों ने बिटवाइज लेफ्ट शिफ्ट किया तो इसमें आखिरी में 2 0 ऐड हो जाएगी, और अगर राइट शिफ्ट किया तो फॉरवर्ड में 2 0 ऐड हो जाएगी. तो दिस इज बेसिकली हाउ यू वर्क विद बिटवाइज लेफ्ट शिफ्ट and bitwise right shift operators. This was all about operators, and now we come to the sequence data types. So basically Python में लिस्ट और टपल्स होते हैं सीक्वेंस डाटा टाइप्स में, और फर्स्ट वी बिगिन विथ लिस्ट. तो
जितेश,
हेलो यस भैया.
या थोड़ा स्लो जाने के लिए क्या है, बच्चे स्लो जाने के लिए क्या है.
अच्छा ओके.
लाइक अंडरस्टैंडिंग में प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है उन लोगों को, बहुत ज़्यादा फास्ट हो रहा है.
ओके. हाँ, सो लिस्ट बेसिकली जैसे किसी भी प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज में एरे होता है, तो एरे में ऐसा होता है कि हम लोग एक पर्टिकुलर डाटा टाइप्स के ही वेरिएबल स्टोर कर सकते हैं. बट लिस्ट इज़ डिफरेंट फ्रॉम एन एरे इन अ सेंस कि इसमें हम किसी भी डेटा टाइप का वेरिएबल स्टोर कर सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर हम एक लिस्ट इनिशियलाइज करें, तो लिस्ट 1 हम लोग ने इनिशियलाइज की है, तो इसमें स्ट्रिंग डेटा टाइप्स का फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, और ये स्ट्रिंग डेटा टाइप्स की 2 वैल्यू स्टोर हो गई, और 2 इंटीजर डेटा टाइप की वैल्यू स्टोर हो गई. और लिस्ट इनिशियलाइज करते वक्त हम लोग स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट्स का यूज़ करते हैं और वैल्यू कॉमा से सेपरेट करते हैं. सो दिस इज हाउ बेसिकली अ लिस्ट इज इनिशियलाइज्ड. एंड the few list operations are these. I am showing you the basic list operation. indexing पहले बताते हैं लिस्ट की कैसे होती है. For example this is a list 1, 2, 5. so जैसे एरे में इंडेक्स होती है, किसी चीज़ में इंडेक्स होती है, तो लिस्ट में भी उसी तरह से इंडेक्स होता है कि 0 से इंडेक्सिंग स्टार्ट होती है, 0, 1, 2. सो 0 इंडेक्स पे वैल्यू स्टोर जो है वो 1 है, 1 इंडेक्स पे जो वैल्यू स्टोर है वो 2 है, जो 2 इंडेक्स पे वैल्यू स्टोर है वो 5 है. सो दिस इज द वे इन विच इंडेक्सिंग टेक्स प्लेस. एक ये तरीका होता है इंडेक्स करने का. एक तरीका होता है कि रिवर्स इंडेक्सिंग होती है, जिसमें -1 लास्ट वैल्यू को इंडेक्स देते हैं, -2 उससे पहले वाली वैल्यू को, -3 उससे पहले वाली वैल्यू को. सो मैं तुम्हें आपको कुछ लिस्ट के एग्जांपल्स दिखाता हूँ. For example, there is a list AR 2, 3, 4, 8, 10. Suppose if I want to print the element which is located at the index 2, that is 4, so उसको एक्सेस करने का बहुत सिंपल तरीका था AR2. सो अगर इसको देखें तो ये हमें 4 दे रहा है, दैट इज द एलिमेंट लोकेटेड एट इंडेक्स 2. इफ वी वांट टू डू इट AR-3, so it is also giving us -4. फॉर एग्जाम्पल क्योंकि 10 जो है वो -5 के इंडेक्स पे होगा, 10 होगा -1 के इंडेक्स पे, 8 -2 के इंडेक्स पे, 4 जो होगा वो -3 के इंडेक्स पे. तो या तो आप फॉरवर्ड जा सकते हैं इंडेक्सिंग में 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, या बैकवर्ड जा सकते हैं -1, 2, -3, -4. इसके अपार्ट लिस्ट में अगर इफ यू वांट टू प्रिंट फ्रॉम इंडेक्स 2 टिल लास्ट, सो दैट कैन बी डन इन अ वे AR2 colon. So when we do this, so from index 2, that is 0, 1, 2, from 4 till last of the list, it will be actually printed. That is 4, 8 and 10 are printed. And if we want to print a certain portion of the list, we can do it in a similar way. AR 1, say 4. Now here 1 would be the number at index 1 will be included, but the number at or the value at index 4 will be excluded. So we need to remember this. And when I do this, it will give 3, 4, 8. That is 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So that is how we can print a certain portion of the list. Apart from this list, we can merge two lists. For example, we have one AR, this first list. If I create a another list, res is equal to 4, 5, 7, 29. And if I want to merge these two lists, that is AR and resident, so these two lists can also be merged in a single list. Now I'm creating a list merge AR, res. If I print merge now, so we see that a merge is a list which contains two lists, that is AR 2, 3, 4, 8 and res. So we see that list can also be a collection of lists. Apart from this, there are many other functions in list as well. That is, we can add values, remove values. Let me show them one by one. For example, if we want to add a value in a particular list, this cannot be done in arrays in C or anything else. So for example, we have a list 25, 45, 67, 78, and we want to add 75 to the list. So list dot append 25. So when I append it and print, you see that 75 is appended to the end of the list. So append function is basically used to add a particular element to the end of the list. Now, but अगर अभी हमें किसी पर्टिकुलर इंडेक्स पे कोई एलिमेंट ऐड करना है तो वो अपेंड से नहीं हो पाएगा, क्योंकि अपेंड हमेशा आखिरी में ऐड करेगा एलिमेंट को. तो इसके लिए हम यूज़ करते हैं इंसर्ट. इंसर्ट में बेसिकली हम इंडेक्स भी स्पेसिफाई करते हैं किस इंडेक्स पे हमें इंसर्ट करना है. तो अब हमारी नई लिस्ट ये 25, 45, 67, 78, 75 और हम लिस्ट डॉट इंसर्ट कर रहे हैं एट इंडेक्स 2. वी आर इंसर्टिंग वैल्यू 50. सो अब अगर हम इसमें देखें तो 25, 45 इंडेक्स 2 पे 50 इंसर्ट हो गया है. सो दिस इज द वे टू इंसर्ट अ वैल्यू एट अ पर्टिकुलर इंडेक्स. इन अ सिमिलर वे वी कैन ऑल्सो रिमूव अ वैल्यू बाय यूजिंग द पॉप फंक्शन. इफ लिस्ट डॉट पॉप हम लोग ऐसे कर देंगे तो आखिरी एलिमेंट जो होगा लिस्ट में वो रिमूव होगा. बट अगर हम लोग को ऐसा चाहिए कि अ पर्टिकुलर एलिमेंट इज रिमूव्ड फ्रॉम अ पर्टिकुलर इंडेक्स, तो हम लोग ऐसे दो तरीके होते हैं. या तो हम लोग एलिमेंट का नाम यूज करते हैं लिस्ट डॉट रिमूव 45, अगर ऐसे करेंगे तो 45 रिमूव हो जाएगा। अब हम वी कैन सी दैट लिस्ट ये बची थी 75 पहले ही पॉप हो गया था, लिस्ट बची थी 25, 45, 50, 67, 78 एंड व्हेन वी यूज लिस्ट डॉट रिमूव 45 तो 45 और रिमूव हो गया, सो लॉ लिस्ट। बट सपोज इसमें हम लोग को वैल्यू यूज करनी पड़ रही है, अगर हम लोग को इंडेक्स से रिमूव करना है तो लिस्ट डॉट पॉप का एक एक्सटेंशन होता है लिस्ट डॉट पॉप, और यहाँ पे हम लोग इंडेक्स नंबर अगर स्पेसिफाई कर दे 2 तो 67 जो है वो पॉप हो जाएगा। नाउ इफ आई प्रिंट द लिस्ट दैट इज 25, 50, 78. So this was the way to add or remove the elements from a particular list. Apart from this, there are some other functions. For example, one is list dot sort. अगर list dot sort यूज करते हैं तो list sort हो जाती है in ascending order. You see that the list is sorted in ascending order 25, 50, 78. So this is the advantage of list that it has so many. इसके बाद clear function होता है, maximum function होता है, delete functions होता है. So there are so many functions in list that it becomes very easy to use. That is why a list is preferred. And now that was all about list. Apart from this, there are certain other functions also available which you will find in slide. Now we come to tuple. टपल और लिस्ट में ये अंतर होता है कि लिस्ट कंप्लीटली ऐड रिमूव कर सकते हैं हम लोग एलिमेंट या कुछ कर सकते हैं या उससे क्लियर कर सकते हैं, बट टपल इज ऑल्सो अ लिस्ट, बट टपल्स में एक बार इनिशियलाइज कर दिया उसके बाद हम लोग कोई चेंज नहीं कर सकते हैं। तो बेसिकली टपल्स लिस्ट के ऊपर तब यूज होता है जब हमें आइटरेशंस फास्ट करनी है, क्योंकि टपल में कोई चेंज नहीं होता है एलिमेंट, तो टपल में आइटरेशंस फास्ट होती है। बाकी टपल डिक्लेयर कैसे होता है, लिस्ट में हम लोग स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट यूज करते थे, टपल में हम लोग राउंड ब्रैकेट्स यूज करेंगे। बाकी टपल्स कैन ऑल्सो कंटेन वेरिएबल्स ऑफ एनी डाटा टाइप दैट इज एज सिमिलर टू लिस्ट, एंड द अदर फंक्शन दैट इज लेंथ ऑफ अ टपल या टपल ऐड हो जाते हैं, वो सब सही है। इंडेक्सिंग में टपल में उसी तरह से होती है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मैं एक टपल इनिशलाइज कर रहा हूँ 1, 2, 3, 34, तो इफ आई डू टपल 2 इंडेक्स तो हमें 34 रिटर्न करेगा जो कि सेकेंड इंडेक्स पे वैल्यू प्रेजेंट है। बट द टपल का डिसएडवांटेज ये है कि इसमें कुछ भी ऐड या सब्ट्रैक्ट है और कोई फंक्शन नहीं परफॉर्म हो सकता है, सो दैट इज विद अ टपल। एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस डिक्शनरी से पहले आने से पहले एक बार सेट बता देते हैं। सो एक लिस्ट का एक फॉर्म होता है सेट। नो सेट जो होता है set is basically a list only, but set is actually unordered. That is अभी तक जो हमने पढ़े हैं लिस्ट और टपल उसमें और इंडेक्सिंग होती थी, दैट इज फर्स्ट एलिमेंट का जो फर्स्ट वैल्यू जो होती थी वो 0 इंडेक्स पे होती थी और 0, 1, 2 करके ऐसे इंडेक्स होती थी। बट सेट जो होता है इसमें कोई इंडेक्सिंग नहीं होती, कोई ऑर्डर नहीं होता है, और सेट जो होता है करली ब्रैकेट से डिफाइंड होता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल सेट 7, 8, so this is the way the set is defined. But अगर हम लोग wait, sorry, 1, 7, 8, तो ये सेट डिफाइन किया। बट अगर हम इस सेट को प्रिंट करेंगे तो वी आर सीइंग दैट इट इज प्रिंटिंग एज 8, 1, 7। दिस इज बेसिकली बिकॉज सेट इज अनऑर्डर्ड, और अनऑर्डर्ड में वो किसी भी ऑर्डर या किसी भी वे में प्रिंट कर सकता है। सो set is just a list but which is unordered, and set में भी जैसे list में functions थे तो वैसे set में भी functions होते हैं। set dot add, set dot clear, set dot pop, ये सारे functions set में भी होते हैं। but the only difference, और set में क्योंकि unordered है और indexing नहीं होती, तो अगर हम set in 2 करेंगे तो ये एक error दे देगा क्योंकि index तो specified नहीं होते हैं set में। so that is what basically separates a set from a list. And if we now come to dictionaries, dictionary is actually kind of अभी तक जो हमने पढ़ा list, tuple, set, इसमें ये होता था कि हाँ अलग अलग डाटा टाइप्स की वैल्यू स्टोर सकती थी। डिक्शनरी में होता है कि काइंड ऑफ डिक्शनरी के 2 पार्ट्स होते हैं, एक होता है की और एक होता है वैल्यू। तो अगर हम कोई डिक्शनरी इनिशियलाइज करते हैं तो ऐसे होती है डिक्शनरी इनिशियलाइज। जैसे ये है, तो जो नेम, एज और क्लास हैं जो कि कोलन से पहले आ रहे हैं, ये होती हैं की, और ये एक डिक्शनरी में रिपीट नहीं हो सकती हैं। बट वैल्यूज जो कोलन के बाद आती हैं, इन पर्टिकुलर कीज की वैल्यू होती है। फॉर एग्जांपल, नेम इज अ की विद अ वैल्यू ज़ारा, एज is a key with a value 7. So this is how dictionary works, and for example I'm showing you. If I initialize a dictionary, one colon name and three colon age. So अगर if now we want to get a particular value of a particular key, मान लो हमें वन की पे वैल्यू चाहिए, तो हम लोग नॉर्मली कर देंगे डिक्शनरी वन। तो हम लोग को वन की पे वैल्यू पता चल जाएगी नम। बट इफ हम लोग मान लो करते हैं डिक्शनरी टू इज नॉट अ की, सो इट विल बेसिकली गिव अस एन एरर। एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस वैल्यू फाइंड करने का और ऑप्शन होता है डिक्शनरी डॉट गेट वन। तो इससे भी हम लोग को वैल्यू पता चल जाती है कि पर्टिकुलर की पे वन पे वैल्यू क्या है। सो दैट इज़ बेसिकली यूज फॉर डिक्शनरी। फॉर एग्जांपल, जो ये कीज़ होती हैं फिक्स्ड होती हैं, और काइंड ऑफ अगर आप एक बना रहे हैं चार्ट टाइप्स जिसमें इंडेक्स नंबर है, उसके आगे उसके मार्क्स हैं, देन इन दैट केसेस डिक्शनरी इज मेनली यूज्ड। Now if we come to strings, अभी तक बेसिकली हम लोग वैसे काफ़ी स्ट्रिंग्स यूज़ कर सकते हैं, तो समझ आ गया होगा कि इसमें स्ट्रिंग्स सिंगल कोट से भी इनिशियलाइज हो जाती हैं और डबल कोट से भी इनिशियलाइज हो जाती है, तो उसमें कोई ज़्यादा फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता है। बट द थिंग इज़ दैट स्ट्रिंग में भी इंडेक्सिंग सेम वे में होती है जैसे कि लिस्ट में होती थी। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ़ आई इनिशियलाइज अ स्ट्रिंग str इज इक्वल टू पाइथन, and if I print str2, so it is giving me t, that is the character present at index 2 0 1 2, so t. But if I want, suppose I do this str2 is equal to e, this will give me an error because string में particular index पे जाके हम लोग character नहीं change कर सकते हैं, so that is why it is giving us an error. Or suppose if we want to print a substring from index 2 till last, it is done in the same way as list. If we do this, we'll see that from index 2 it is printing the substring, that is thon. So basically indexing वाले जो भी सारे इसमें functions होते हैं वो list की तरीके काम करते हैं, बस change नहीं हो पाती हैं values. बिफोर डिसीजन मेकिंग, अभी तक जो भी था हम लोग ये शेल पे वर्क कर रहे थे, बट एक्चुअली अगर इफ़ यू वांट टू मेक अ पाइथन प्रोग्राम, वो हम लोग शेल पे नहीं वर्क करते, वी विल हैव टू मेक अ न्यू फाइल। एंड नाउ व्हेन वी कम, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ वी आर मेकिंग अ प्रोग्राम टू स्वैप टू नंबर्स, सो इसी के साथ मैं ये भी बता रहा हूँ कि इनपुट कैसे लेते हैं। ए इज इक्वल टू इनपुट is the way to take input. So, but before that I'm telling you one thing. A is equal to 5, B is equal to 20. We get a temporary variable temp is equal to, जिसमें B store हो गया, so now B is equal to A and A is equal to temp. So this is the basic program to स्वैप टू नंबर्स। एंड बट इसको रन कैसे करेंगे, रन करने से पहले हम लोग को इसको सेव करना पड़ेगा। फॉर सेविंग अ पाइथन फाइल, इट शुड बी सेव्ड विद एन एक्सटेंशन .py, फॉर एग्जांपल demo .py. .py is the extension used for saving a Python file. So when we will run it, we'll see that We actually didn't printed anything in that. Sorry for that. If I print here A, comma B, and now it run it. So we see that A was initially 5 and B was 10, but now when it is printing 10, 5. So that was the basic program to actually kind of input two variable, swap two variables. But now if you must be wondering that how will we take input in Python? So for input, we see that in Python, actually input is always taken in the string format. For example, if we do A is equal to input, B is equal to input, and we do C is equal to A plus B, print C. So if we insert the value 5 and 6, we see that it is not actually adding the two numbers 5 and C, it is giving us input 56. This is because input in Python is actually taken in the form of string. So ये 5 भी एक string की तरह treat हो रहा है, 6 भी string की तरह, इसलिए 56 हो रहा है. To overcome this, what we can do is, हमें अगर integer में input लेना है तो इसके आगे int लगा देते हैं. So when we will do this, the value will be taken in the string, but then it will be converted into int, as I had shown earlier in the transformation of data types. So this is the way we can take the input in integer or float format. So that was to how to take inputs. And now I would like Arnav to continue with decision making and for loops.
Thank you. Is my screen presenting?
Yeah, it is showing.
Okay. So I would be taking the next three topics of the Python, basic Python, that is decision making and loops and the functions. So you would be using these three things a lot in your codes to give your code a bit more functionality rather than just performing simple mathematical operations. So first is the decision making. Decision making is statements are there in C++ also and Python also. In Python, the three decision making statements are if, elif, and else, which are analogous to your if, else if, and else in C++. So let me show you with an example how these decision statement works. So here, let me just I've written a code here, basic code. So if I assign a value of let's say 10 to to variable a, then the code will run like this. First, it will check the condition given in if, that is, it will check that is if that a is equal to 10. Since it's true, so that print 10 would be executed, that block of code would be executed. And if let's say a is 11, so the first condition would be false, so the control would go to the else statement and it would print no. So it would print no. Then basically what decision making does is it changes the flow of the code given on certain conditions. Like here, that condition is a equals to 10. So We also use elif also, because naturally you don't only depend upon one condition. Mostly there will be a lot more than one condition. So let me give you that example also. We just simply write here elif. Let's say I will give one more condition like a equals to let's say 11 now. If a equals to 11, then print 11. Then if if the value of a is 11, the output would be, let me show you the output. The output would be 11. As you can see, the output is 11. How did the code work? It went like this. First it checked the if condition. It checked that is a equals to 10. Since the condition is false, the control went to the elif condition. Now is a equals to 11? It's true. So so 11 is printed. And once once elif is executed, then else will not be checked. The control will not go to else to check that condition. So simply 11 is printed. Now if a equals to 12, so we see that a is not equal to 10. We can see that a is not equal to 11. So if and elif will not be executed, so the control would come to the else statement, and it will be printed no. So let me run the code. As you can see, no is printed. So this is the decision making statements. And one more thing in decision making statement is nested ifs. So as the name suggests, nested if is basically an if else statement inside if. So here I would show you like this. If, let me declare one more variable, b equals to 9, let's say b equals to 9, and I will go like this. If b equals to 9, print 9, else print no. Let's run this code, and I'm going to put here 10. Indentation error a bit. See, 9 is printed. How did the code work? Let me tell you how did the code work. First the control, minimize. So how did the code work? Since a is equal to 10, so the if condition would be executed, and in that if condition, one more condition is there. So it will check if b equals to 9. Since b is equal to 9, so the 9 is executed. If let's say if it was 12, then no is printed, because that else statement would be executed. Because even if a is equal to 10, the control would go to if b equals to 9. Since b is not equals to 9, the control would go to the next else statement, the else statement that is inside the if statement. So then no is printed. For clarification, let me just write here no 2, so that it is more clear which no is printed. As you can see, no 2 is printed. So you understand which one was printed. So this is about decision making, and let's come to the loop. Let me show you what is loop. So the loop is Generally, when you write a code, you will be using a certain set of codes again and again. So naive approach would be that you write that set of code multiple times. But that would also not work because most of the programs you will be writing, you would not know how much times that set of code will be running. So for that, we make loops. So what basically loop does is it executes a certain set of codes again and again as much as you want with a given condition. So let me show you an example. Um, let's write a string s equals to a b c d. So if I ask you to write print each and every letter of this string without loop, you would be doing it like this: print s0, sorry, print s1. Matlab, you know how it will go. Matlab, you will printing every letter differently. So, and that would be a very tiresome process. By writing in loop, let me show you how easy it is then. I will simply write for I in S, print I. Let me run the code. Let me just erase this part so you don't get confused. See, A, B, C, D, all four letters are printed differently. So the loop makes it so easier. You didn't have to write 4 times. You don't have to print 4 times. So same can be done with list also. List, tuple, whatever you can do. Let me give you a list example also. One more list example. 1, 2, 3. And let's just replace L. 1, 2, 3. All the elements of the list are printed differently. So now, but the most standard way of using a for loop in Python is using the range function. Range is a function that takes up to 3 inputs, and I will show you example of using range with 1 input, 2 input, and 3 inputs respectively. So with 1 input, for I in range, let's say 10. Print I. So what it does actually is that the number that you input, that is 10, it considers it as upper limit, and the lower limit is defined as 0. It's default. So what will be printed is the lower limit and up till less than the upper limit. Let me run the code to show you. As you can see, 0 was the lower limit, so it was printed, and less than the upper limit, so that would be 9. So 0 say 9 tak print hua hai. That is 10 digits. So if you write a negative number in range, then it would not print anything, because the default number is default is 0, and 0 से लेके minus तक तो कुछ नहीं print होगा, because upper limit less than lower limit है. So for the next example would be for I in range. Let me just write here only. If there are 2 inputs for I in range 20. So what it does is it defines the first argument as the lower limit and the second argument as the upper limit. So if you can guess the output, it would be, let me show you, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 up till 19. That is less than the upper limit, and the lower limit is included. So that is the lower limit is included. And if there are 3 arguments, then third argument is actually the step argument, which gives actually by how much each iterate by how much after each iteration I should increase. So the default is 1, that's why it was printing 10, 11, 12, 13. But now since I gave it value 3, then it would print 10, 13, 16, 19, something like that. 10, 13, 16, 19. It is incrementing by 3. So that is basically the for loop, and you can write anything actually. Let's see if I write 20, 10, and -1, -3, let's write. So here the the starting would be 20 and the final would be 10, but the 10 would not be included and 20 would be included because it is the first argument. See, 20, 17, 14, 11 with decrementing by 3. So that is for loop, and the other loop that we use is while loop. While loop का syntax होता है while, and we give a condition here. Let me just initialize again a value for I less than I equals to 1. Oh, sorry, I equals to 1, I less than 10. This is the condition for running the for while loop. Since as long as I is less than 10, the loop will go for one more iteration. So let me define, let me give a body to the loop. Print I, and in this we have to increment I with, let's say, I plus equals to 2. For those who don't know, I plus equals to 2 is like this, I equals to I plus 2. It's the same, I plus equals to 2 or I equal to I plus 2, that is same. So let me run this code. As you can see, 1, 2, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 are printed. Each is incrementing by 2, and the while loop ends when I is greater than 10. It only runs up till I less than 10. So this is for the loop, while loop, and next comes the functions. And functions are basically a block of organized reusable code that are aimed at performing a certain action that you must have used in your JE also. A function, it's more or less same, only that you give some input to the function and gives an output, performing certain set of action on the input and giving an output there you. And that it's used for providing better modularity for your application, and you can use that code again and again. And let me show you an example how it is used, how we define a function. Let me define a function. We define a function by the keyword define, def, and we give a random function name, let's say funky x colon, and we can you write any code here. Let's say x equal to x into x, x into x, x equal to x plus equals to 2, x, then I will return x, sorry, x. So the function is made. Now if I print funky 2, what is printed? Let me change the code a bit. Six is printed. Since the output since I gave an input of 2, what is printed is 6. Let's see how. First it will square the value of 2 and store it in x equal to x into x. So that would, now here the value of x is 4, and then it would increment the value of x by 2. So 4 plus 2 is 6. So it will return 6, and thus it prints 6 basically. And you can function the use of function is that you can write you can perform this code many times actually. Like I did function 2, I can do function 3 also, and function 4 also. Matlab any number you can do it. So you can use this code again and again anytime you want. Like 3 I used, it printed 11. So that was all from function side, and actually the basic of the function part. But now I would like to ask Girja to continue with the NumPy part.
Okay. I hope you all guys have understood what Python is. So I'm gonna teach you a very important library of Python, that is NumPy. Let me share up my screen first. So share it. Hello.
Yes, it's sharing.
Okay. Okay. What is NumPy? Actually, NumPy is a library. It is an inbuilt library of Python. As you all know that Python has no 2D arrays. Well, actually, it has array. As you all have seen that just now, they have taught you about list. So list is a kind of array, and you might be thinking by studying NumPy, we can create a array using list also, just like list inside list. Let me show you that. Okay. This is an array. This is a 2D array. You can see at index 0, 1, comma 2, comma 3 is present. At index 1, 5, 4, 6 is present. And at index 2, 7, 8, 9 is present. In memory, it is storing like this. In a row, 1, comma 2, comma 3 is present. In another row, 4, comma 5, comma 4, comma 6 is present. And in another row, 7, comma 8, comma 9 is present. So it's a kind of 2D array. If what is coming previously. You can see that a list is present. It is printed list inside list. If I say that I want to print a list in a 2D form, so what I have to do is to print it in a way of do. I अब तुम लोग देख लोगे कि जैसे कि एक लिस्ट ये एक एरे प्रिंट हो गया है इट्स तो अब तुम सोचोगे कि हमें नमपाई की जरूरत ही क्या है कि जब हम लिस्ट इनसाइड लिस्ट यूज कर सकते हैं बट एक्चुअली क्या होता है कि जो 2D एरे लिस्ट से फॉर्म होता है वो बहुत स्लो होता है सो नमपाई इज यूज टू क्रिएट अ 2D एरे because numpy is efficient and fast and numpy uses relatively less memory to store data सो नमपाई हम इसलिए यूज करता है कि वहां पर हम लोग को मेमोरी भी लेस यूज होती है एंड वो बहुत फास्ट होता है कंपेयर टू लिस्ट हाँ अब लेट मी शो यू वन थिंग मोर अगर मैं बोल दूं कि लिस्ट में अगर तुम्हें एक्सेस करना है इसका वनथ एलिमेंट मींस रो 1 एक्सेस करनी है तो क्या करना होगा रो 0 1 कॉमा 2 कॉमा जी भैया Hello everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Is the voice proper or not? Just tell me.
It is clear.
Girja, you are muted now.
I guess there is some network issue over here. भैया लास्ट टाइम कहाँ तक हुआ था?
Yes. Please present.
It is already presented.
No, your presentation is actually not visible.
Actually, भैया, the
Again,
network issue is there and it is raining overhead. So maybe due to this, the network. One second. Let me join it again.
try again one time.
Is it presenting right now?
Yeah, it is presenting.
Okay. So I was there that if I want to access this element 9, so what I need to do is just I need to write its position. So you can easily see that I am getting this 9 over here. So as you all are aware that indexing is from 0, that's why I'm getting this element by writing 2, 2. Now let's move to NumPy. Okay. I guess you all have installed NumPy. In our Python ecosystem, there are many inbuilt libraries are there, such as OpenCV, Pandas, Matplotlib, NumPy, and many others. So NumPy is very important library in which we create 2D arrays. So basically, NumPy is also used along with OpenCV, Pandas, and Matplotlib. And arrays in NumPy are also called ND arrays. That means NumPy arrays को ND arrays भी बोला जाता है. And उसके कुछ main attributes हैं ndarray.ndim.shape. Let me show you once. So basically एक function होता है array create करने के लिए फर्स्ट अगर हम लोग को numpy यूज करना है तो पहले उसे इंपोर्ट करना होता है by writing import numpy as np. कन्वीनियंट होता है इसलिए एज np लिख देते हैं कि आगे यूज करना होगा तो शॉर्टर फॉर्म में यूज कर सकते हैं. तो ये क्या कर रहा है, ARR इज इक्वल टू np डॉट array, एक array क्रिएट कर दे रहा है जिसके अंदर एलिमेंट्स हैं 1 2 3 4 5. अब लेट मी प्रिंट दैट array. See, I can get 1 2 3 4 5. These are the elements of the array which I am getting. So let me once see the attribute and d type. मतलब it prints the data type of the element. Print ARR dot d type. So what happens? I'm getting the data type. These elements are of data type integer. So I'm getting int 32. What if I write over here np dot int 64? This is another attribute of NumPy. By using this, I can convert these integers into 64 bit. Earlier, I'm getting the data type as int 32, but if I use 64, then these will convert into bit 64. Let me print it out. You can easily see them. See, I'm getting these arrays, this array and the data type again. Now it's in 64. As you have seen earlier, it was in 32. Now I'm getting it as in 64. I can use it as along with float also.
Just
Let me
a
show
minute,
you.
guys. Your screen is not visible. I think the presentation is. Just present it again and screen में बहुत lag है यार, so उसके according बताना इनको, wait करके बताना थोड़ा.
Okay, भैया. Is it visible now?
Yes, it is visible.
Actually, भैया, it's raining over here. That's why there is network issue. Okay. Let me create an array containing float elements. For now, I need to write here float 64 and let me run it out once. See, now easily you can see that I'm getting the data type as float 64 and this array containing float elements. So there is another, now let's come to 2D arrays. These are all about 1D array. There is a function called array as I have told you. Using this, I can create a 2D array also. So this is a 2D array. np.array in which in row 0, 1, 2, 3 is there and row 1, 6, 8, 9 elements are there. So what if I want to access the element? It is just simple as I've told you earlier. You can easily write or access the element by giving indexes like this. What do you think? What I'll get if I print this? Simple. Just run it up. I'm getting it as 2. So on 0th indexing, at 1 column, it is 2 is present. So in output, I'm getting it as 2. There are two ways of getting or accessing the elements. First by using this or another by using this. Print ARR 1, 2, or let's see first give 1, 0, 1 only. You can easily see the same we are getting is that output. Again we are getting is that 2. Now there are two main attributes there are which are present in Python, that is shape function and size function. What shape function gives is it gives number of rows and number of columns. Let me print it out first. See, I'm getting 2, 3. So in this array, 2 rows are present and 3 columns are there. So I am getting it as 2, 3.
Girija, can
Yeah.
you stop for a bit? Yeah.
Yes, भैया.
So काफ़ी ऐसे देर हो चुका है तुम लोग का जब से स्टार्ट हुआ है. सो एंड काफ़ी लोग कह भी रहे हैं कि कल का कर देना है. तो वी हैव डिसाइडेड कि ये नंपाई वाली जो वर्कशॉप होगी कल का ओपन से भी फर्स्ट वर्कशॉप के साथ करा देंगे. ओके
ओके भैया.
ठीक है. तो बाकी लोगों को अगर आज की वर्कशॉप में पे ख़त्म हुई है, अगर कोई डाउट है तो चैट वगैरह में लिख दो, रिस्पॉन्ड करेंगे हम लोग. ये स्लाइड्स भी अपलोड हो जाएगी, उसका चिंता मत करो. और ये स्पैम मत करो थैंक यू करके. इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन हो वो पूछ लो. कल का वर्कशॉप का टाइम डिस्कस कर लेंगे. उसके रिलेटेड डाउट मत पूछना. अभी व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप नहीं बना है तो उसका लिंक नहीं है, टेलीग्राम ग्रुप है. तुम अपना स्ट्रेंथ देख सकते हो. व्हाट्सएप का लिमिट होता है 257 या फिर 256. रिकॉर्डिंग अपलोड हो जाएगी आज ही. विल शेयर. हाँ नंपाई कल शुरू से रिपीट हो जाएगा. लिंक फॉर टेलीग्राम. वेट.
हेलो मयंक, क्या मैं ऑडिबल?
हाँ आ रही आवाज़.
यस भैया.
हाँ, बहुत सारे डाउट्स आ रहे हैं. बेटर विल अलॉट देम मेंटर्स फर्स्ट एंड दे कैन आस्क देयर मेंटर्स
हाँ
डाउट्स.
और
लाइक
तुम्हें मिनट आज अलॉट हो जाएंगे.
हाँ, आज रात तक मेंटर्स अलॉट कर देंगे हर एक टीम को. मेंटर से पूछ लेना कोई भी डाउट हो फ्री. हाँ, मटेरियल्स भेज देंगे वर्कशॉप के बाद. विल सेंड द मटेरियल्स एंड ऑल, डोंट वरी. हाँ, वी एस कोड पे भी कर सकते हैं. उसमें भी टर्मिनल में भी चलाना होगा. वी एस कोड में भी सेम ही पहले रजिस्टर करो, मेल पे एक लिंक आएगा रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए। रजिस्टर करने के बाद यू विल सी अ टेलीग्राम लिंक, सेम फॉर्म में दिखेगा एक टेलीग्राम लिंक, उस पर ज्वाइन हो जाओ सब। And then event के पहले we need to take some 3-4 workshops, so we can't postpone them. Like you guys should take some time and try to attend. Next workshop mostly tomorrow या day after tomorrow होगा. We'll inform you, mail करेंगे या we'll let you know in the Telegram group. हाँ, Python 3.7 यूज़ करो, 3.7 पॉइंट कोई भी वर्जन यूज़ करो बेटर. It supports almost all the libraries we use. लेटेस्ट वर्जन में उतना सपोर्ट नहीं है, जैसे OpenCV का सपोर्ट नहीं है 3.9 में. So better to stick with a single version for everyone.
Keep the technical doubt for later.
हाँ,
When
रजिस्ट्रेशन
we
फॉर्म
allow
का,
to mentors, you will ask them.
हाँ तो मेल पे आया होगा, देखो रजिस्ट्रेशन फॉर्म का लिंक. जस्ट चेक योर मेल वंस. Yeah, sir, we try to keep it in English as much as possible. And mentors, just register in the for the event. Will allot you mentors. बस इवन रजिस्टर करो टीम के साथ इवेंट. Yeah, guess you can leave now if you do not have anything to ask.